Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode on the Bodybuilding News Network. As always, I'm your host, Saunch. Thank you so much for stopping by and checking out the channel. If you find yourself enjoying this style of content, definitely consider subscribing. But let's go ahead and jump into some of the hot topics this week and of today. Firstly, blessing Awodibu, IFBB Pro Men's Open Bodybuilder. The last time we saw him was at the 2021 Indy Pro. He did place well, first call out in his pro debut. There's a lot of hype coming into that show, a lot of hype of him doing well at that show. Recently, he's posted some physique updates on the Instagram, specifically showing some comparisons from his last year prep of how he looked specifically at this day, March 30th. Not March 30th today, but how he looked March 30th last year compared to March 30th this year. Now, I will say that this back double bicep shot is somewhat deceiving if you look at the way that he is holding the shot. But hey, that's not anything we can critique him for. He's learned, he's made the improvements on how to present his package, his physique in the best way possible. And that's exactly what we are going to be looking at in this photo here. It looks like he's made some significant size and conditioning improvements in the glutes, the hamstrings, the calves overall. I would say that his upper back looks wider, but I do believe that that is a camera angle and also positioning of how he is holding the posing. Now, that's not to discredit any hard work that he's put into his offseason in making the improvements. I definitely think that he has made upper back and even maybe some lower back improvements, but the angle is something important to point out. But overall, blessing Awodibu is looking phenomenal coming into, I believe he's making a return to the Indy Pro this year. Of course, let me know if that is wrong or right in the comment sections below. But how excited are you about seeing the boogeyman, blessing Awodibu, back on the IFBB Pro stage? Let me know in the comment sections below. Another interesting story as we move into the Indy Pro is Charles Griffin. Now, this guy, he had a little bit of a gap prior to last year. He came in kind of revitalizing his career in some aspects, if you want to look at it that way. He came into last year's competitive season. I thought that he did phenomenal, landing in that top three at the show he did last year. And overall, I think he's made some phenomenal improvements in the offseason. Especially, we look at some photos all the way back in February. He was showing some shots of him holding the vacuum. And then later in February, showing even more shots of some more vacuum shots. I like how he looks holding a vacuum. It emphasizes the smaller waist, which is what he definitely needs to put a lot of priority and focus into to, I hate to say emphasize, I feel like I've said it quite a few times, but emphasize the flow and the structure of his physique. Recently, he posted a side chest shot, really showing off the amazing bicep to chest development he has. Hamstring drops for days, getting ready for, I believe he's making a run for the Indy Pro just 6 weeks out. So best of luck to Charles Griffin coming into this Indy Pro competition this year. Now moving into some pro debuts, or hopefully future pro debuts, is this guy, a classic physique gentleman, Mr. Jordan. He goes by jstrickfitness on Instagram. He recently won 3 different classes at his most recent show. I believe it was called the Tournament of Champions was the show, and now he's prepping 6 weeks out for the Junior USAs. Amazing, great physique, beautiful flowing lines, tiny controlled midsection. I like to see that. I'd like to see the arms come up a little bit, especially the triceps, but overall, phenomenal physique. He looks great, world-class legs, definitely a future pro if you were to ask me. So Mr. Jordan, hopefully we get to see you get that pro card in just under 6 weeks out. Someone who recently did get their pro card is Mr. Apologies as I butcher this one, but Josefkvet. It's got some accents in there, so I do apologize. But he recently won his men's open bodybuilding IFBB pro card at the Two Bros Pro event, the Ben Weider Classic out in the UK, I believe it was. And he won his pro card there. Guys, I think he's going to be a threat. If he were to roll into the Arnold Classic UK, the way he's built, the crazy delts he has on him, conditioning especially, he looks really, really good, guys. I really would like to see him hop into a pro show pretty soon here, but definitely we'll keep an eye on this gentleman. Only 6,000 followers on Instagram, so check out his page on Instagram. He looks absolutely just world class. Josefkvet is his Instagram. As always, all the links to the athletes that we talk about in these videos will be in the description of the video down below. So stay tuned and check that out. Moving into a buys and tries stories. As always, buys and tries on Instagram, one of the really good bodybuilding news outlets on Instagram, took a snippet of some Phil Heath shots from his story recently. And, you know, what can we say here? Phil Heath is not done, in my opinion. I still think he's going to roll into that Athleticon. And most recently with Dwayne Johnson, another story, Dwayne Johnson announcing that he wants to do or has shown interest in doing a bodybuilding show. I definitely think we're going to see both of them and maybe even a Kai Green. I hate to say it, but maybe even a Kai Green at this year's Athleticon if they can get it off the ground. They want that to be an elite pro show. You have the Olympia, you have the Arnold Classic Ohio. They want to have another show that is elite here. And when we look at Dwayne Johnson, we look at his team, that he's his promotional team. They have the ability, they have the funds, they have the marketing team to really push that show. And I think that Phil Heath is not done. I think he's going to roll into that show. I don't think he's going to roll into any other show. I think he's done with the Olympia after that, disappointing third place finish. I definitely think he's done for now. So that's kind of my thought on Phil Heath recently. Lastly, our last story, we have Brett Wilkin. No S, I said it right. Brett Wilkin recently has stepped away from Hostile Labs or Hostile Supplements. I believe it was amicable. I believe they're good to go. They're good friends still. I'm sure we'll see him on the podcast again soon on the Fuad Abiad Media podcast on YouTube. One of the best, in my opinion, or the best, definitely in the conversation for the best. But he's one of Matt Jensen's athletes, and Matt Jensen, from what I know, owns or at least co-owns Raw Nutrition and Revive MD. Recently, Brett Wilkin and his wife Ivana have announced that they have signed with both of those supplement companies. So I don't think that this was a surprise. I think it's a perfect fit for Brett as he's still with Matt Jensen. If you don't know, Nick Walker was also with these companies. He was also with Matt Jensen, won the Olympia or top 5 Olympia placing, won the Arnold Classic last year with Matt Jensen. There was some weird stuff going on where he's not with them, and then he says he is with them, and then he does eventually announce that he is separated from everything that is Matt Jensen and his brands. Hey, I'm not saying anything bad or even good about them. I will say they're good. Phenomenal company, great guy, but they stepped away. Brett Wilkins has filled that Nick Walker place, and I think it's a great fit for him. So congratulations. Always these athletes getting money, getting paid. You can't be more happy for them. Lastly, as we finish up this video, I have made a Bodybuilding News Network t-shirt. So if I do get a couple orders, anything over like 10, I will do an order through probably like t-shirt spring or something to actually get you guys the screen pressed ones. This is vinyl that I print actually here at my house. So if you guys are interested in something like this and then a big BNN on the back, definitely let me know in the comment sections below. If you want it custom, you want your last name on the back, let me know as well in the comment sections below, or DM me on Instagram if you guys want to put in an order. As always, consider subscribing if you enjoyed another episode on the Bodybuilding News Network. I'm your host, Saunch, and I'll see you guys in another Bodybuilding Today episode.